Hello, once again, welcome to the Security Update, which we often look at issues concerning security in the continent from west to east. And these are the stories making the headlines. Gunman kill opposition figure in Lassana, Somaliland. Somalia president pledges to prosecute officers who facilitate Al-Shabaab attacks. Withdrawal of Eritrean forces tops the discussion as Ethiopia officials visit Tigray. 2 more Gambian military officers arrested over failed coup plot. Welcome to the program. Somaliland's opposition party Wadani has confirmed the death of one of their officials, Abdi Fattah Abdullahi, known as Abdi Hadrawi, who was killed by unknown gunmen in Lansana, north of Sol region. The presidential candidate of the party demands from the government to bring the perpetrators to justice. Unidentified gunman shot dead Abdi Fattah Abdullahi, known as Abdi Hadrawi, who was a member of the Somaliland Wadani party last night in Lansana of Sol region for undisclosed reasons. The death of the official was confirmed for the public by the Wadani party. The presidential candidate of the party, Abdurrahman Irra, has sent his condolences to the family, friends and the nation for the demise of Abdi Hadrawi and urged the country's security agencies to immediately launch an investigation into the matter. Abdurrahman Irra added that Abdi Hadrawi was among the House of Representatives candidates for the 2021 elections and has been in the top of the waiting list. However, the government is yet to comment on the matter. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud forwarded to investigate security officials and soldiers who help Al-Shabaab members for their attacks in government institutions or places frequented by civilians.
Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud vowed to investigate security officials and soldiers who help Al-Shabaab members for their attacks in government institutions or places frequented by civilians. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud believes that security forces facilitate the transportation of explosives and that senior officials instructed subordinates stationed at checkpoints to clear the way for the explosive-laden vehicles. He made the comments at an event on Saturday to commemorate the 79th anniversary of the Somali police force. The president of Somalia also said that the government is investigating officers who are believed to have allowed Al-Shabaab cars to pass after receiving a bribe. The president's remarks came after Al-Shabaab carried out the most recent attack in Mogadishu on the Villa Race Hotel located close to Villa. Military officers suspected of being involved in the attack were arrested. Hanan Abdurrahman, CBA.
According to U.S. Africa Command, in a statement, the U.S. government has carried out a strike in Somalia that killed 6 Al-Shabaab fighters. AFRICOM said the strike was in self-defense and it was carried out at the request of the Somali government. According to U.S. Africa Command, in a statement, the U.S. government has carried out a strike in Somalia that killed 6 Al-Shabaab fighters. AFRICOM said the strike was in self-defense and it was carried out at the request of the Somali government. It was the 3rd such strike in 10 days, and it occurred in the same area of the Somalia near the city of Adalle, about 150 miles northeast of the capital of Mogadishu. The AFRICOM reported no civilian casualties. The first was on December 14, and AFRICOM said 7 Al-Shabaab militants were killed. The second strike came 3 days later and killed 8 Al-Shabaab fighters. The U.S. has provided ongoing support to the Somali government since President Joe Biden approved in May a Pentagon request to redeploy U.S. troops to the area in an attempt to counter the Al-Shabaab group. Withdrawal of Eritrean forces is key in the implementation of peace deal in Ethiopia. A high-level Ethiopian government delegation led by Parliament Speaker arrived in Tigray capital Mekelle to chart a strategy on how to concretize the pact signed in South Africa.
Arriving Mekelle on Monday, the high-level Ethiopian government delegation and Tigrayan leaders held discussions on a range of pressing issues related to humanitarian aid, basic services, commerce, and the withdrawal of Eritrea and Amhara forces. Although details of what was discussed with regards to withdrawal of Eritrean forces were not revealed by any of the parties yet, but Tigray leaders said the discussions were cordial and historical. Tigrayan spokesperson Getachew Reda, who is also the advisor to the president of Tigray, said on his official Twitter handle, "Fruitful discussions were held and important understanding has been reached The government's gesture to greenlight the long overdue restoration of services is commendable. That none of the government delegation members bother to bring close protection guard is a testament to their confidence in Tigray's commitment to the peace agreement. We will continue to build on the progress while addressing challenges ahead, he added. This was the first time Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government dispatched such a high-level delegation to the war-torn region since conflicts began between Tigray forces and government forces in November 2020. Despite last month's peace deal signed in South Africa, the presence of Eritrean forces in Tigray has been an obstacle for Tigray forces to disarm. The federal government and Tigrayan forces signed an agreement to permanently cease hostilities on November 2 after 2 years of fighting that killed thousands and displaced millions. A follow-up agreement on the disarmament of Tigray's People Liberation Front (TPLF) fighters, humanitarian access guarantees, and entry of the Ethiopian military into the Tigrayan capital of Mekele was signed on November 12.
The Gambian authorities have disclosed the 2 additional military forces who had a hand in the failed plot to overthrow President Adam Barrow have been arrested. But we will be back after the short break.
Making documentaries is one of the most creative craft and challenging endeavors you can be involved in. It is an effective strategy to inform, persuade, educate, defend the perspective, and shed light on various issues, policies, and activities. At CBA TV, documentary production is our forte. We capture every TikTok detail of events in highest resolution to tell the story you care about, from politics to human hunger, research-based content, educative and informative. We also help you project your story in a dynamic perspective that attracts the world views of the target audience, as there is no better or more powerful way to place the organization's values and achievements than to make an excellent documentary film. No doubt, our strength lies in these ventures, and we pride in many award-winning documentaries which have been earning accolades across Africa and beyond. Let's tell your story.
Welcome back. Welcome back again. The Gambian authorities have disclosed that 2 additional military forces who had a hand in the failed plot to overthrow President Adam Barrow have been arrested. The government pledged to bring the rest to justice as search for other coup plotters continue.
2 Gambian military officers linked to an alleged plot to overthrow the government of President Adama Barrow have been arrested over the weekend. The government said earlier that a group of soldiers had been arrested in connection with an attempt to stage a coup in the small West African nation of 2.5 million people, which is almost surrounded by Senegal. A statement on Monday by government spokesman Ebrima Sankari said they were apprehended after they attempted to stage the failed mutiny. The officers include a second lieutenant of the Gambian infantry and a captain from the military intelligence and security units. They were arrested on Saturday and Sunday respectively, while the search for other alleged plotters is ongoing. A total of 70 military personnel are already in custody, according to the government. President Adama Barrow has been president of the Gambia since 2017. He was re-elected in December 2021. Africa has witnessed a series of coups d'etat since August 2020. The affected countries are Mali, Guinea, Sudan, and Burkina Faso. Kamil Sadiq, CBA TV.
The Nigerian Air Force says dozens of army insurgents have been killed in air attacks in Borno State as efforts to keep the country safe continue to intensify.
As efforts to rid the country of insurgencies continue to gain momentum, the Nigerian Air Force says it has killed over 100 terrorists, including some of the leaders, in an airstrike on 20th of December in Borno State, northeastern Nigeria. This is contained in a statement issued in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force Headquarters, Edward Gabwetz. He said that the interdiction mission was conducted by the air component of Operation Adinkai at Mantari village in Gezua General Area, Bama Local Government Area of Borno State. Mr. Gabwetz, an Air Commodore, said that the attack followed an intelligence report that a Boko Haram terrorist commander known as Ikrima had moved to Mantari village with his gun trucks and was joined by terrorists on motorcycles from other locations. Gabwetz said that some terrorists had perfected plans to resume active hostilities in the wake of the Yuletide and forthcoming general elections in 2023. He added that the armed forces will continue to flush out the insurgents using the air and land troops. Kamil Sadiq, CBA TV, Nigeria.
Somalia National Intelligence and Security Agency, together with the National Army Forces, have carried out a planned military operation on the road connecting Afgoye and Marka districts in the lower Shabelle region that resulted in the death of Al-Shabaab leader.
Somalia National Intelligence Security Agency (NISA), together with the National Army Forces, have carried out a planned military operation on the road connecting Afgoye and Marka districts in the Lower Shabelle region that resulted in the death of Al-Shabaab leader. The government forces did not provide further details on the identity of the Al-Shabaab leader, but affirmed the operation was aimed at the group members, which infiltrates this street and allegedly harmed the people. The army said they carried out operation in certain areas such as Garasgawan, Galka Salim, El Marade, and destroyed a court and a bank belonging to Al-Shabaab, as security agencies reported that the mission was successful. The army also reported that they are carrying out similar operations that will continue until they secure the capital Mogadishu and its surroundings. I'm Abdurrahman, CBA.
The National Disaster Management Agency of Somalia has sent food aid to Rinurgo town in the Middle Shabelle region, which was liberated from Al-Shabaab fighters by the Somali National Army Forces. Somalia's National Disaster Management Agency has extended food aid to some of the districts which were recently liberated from Al-Shabaab, as many people in Runirgo district in the Middle Shabelle received the first phase of the aid. The federal government pledged several times on different occasions to implement government services and extend urgent support to all liberated villages as the war between Somalia government forces and Al-Shabaab continues. Since the anti-war against Al-Shabaab started a few months ago, the federal government claimed to have killed hundreds of Al-Shabaab fighters and recaptured strategic localities from the group. The army chief is pledged to not stop the attack until they successfully manage to remove Al-Shabaab from their final hideouts across the country. And with that, the story of the National Disaster Management Agency of Somalia sent food aid to Renegade town in the Middle Shabelle region, which was liberated from Al-Shabaab fighters by the Somali National Army Forces, will wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us. This is me, Hamse Daabjeerin.